Welcome to the Genesis Mindset. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about affection. So, the role that affection plays in dysnomia and how you can actually mint it. So, I'm going to go through the process now. So, for me, when I did it the first time, it was very simple. I just followed the steps, but it seems like people had difficulty with it. So, I've been promising to put a tutorial. And what I was trying to do was I was trying to read the entire telegram of affection first so I could really like let all the information sit into my mind so then I could just naturally speak about it. But yeah, in any case, it's like I'm just going to go through the document now. It's taking way too long. So I'm going to go through the document. I'm going to go through how to mint it. And it's very cool. So one thing that I was reading in the telegram was that dysnomia is the Greek god of lawlessness. So this really plays into this idea that I've been thinking about of the Atropa ecosystem and dysnomia, of this yin, of this yang, of the fate, of the freedom, of the destiny, of the opposite of destiny, of chaos, of order and chaos. So Atropa is like order, math, perfection, everything flows like it is, and dysnomia is like the disruptor. And somehow they feed into each other as this yin and yang system. So I thought that was very cool. That was a very cool little piece of alpha because that was something that I just kind of hypothesized. So to see other people thinking along those lines as well is very, very cool. So with that, I'll get into the share screen and we'll go through this process together. So we'll start from the top. So this document, all these links I will be sharing in the description below, so you can check that out. So what is affection? Affection is a token created by 414, so that's Maria, as part of the dysnomia ecosystem, which will be the gateway to buying other tokens deployed within. The token supply is limited to 1 billion and can be purchased by swapping from PulseX or directly from the contract. So also, I'm going to link up here. So this is the KSB TV interview. So shout out to Maddie. Maddie did a great interview with Maria. And basically, well, first of all, the way that Maria was describing it is that dysnomia is going to get minted out to 1 billion. And then once it gets minted out to 1 billion supply, that's it. And it is like an arcade ticket. So it's the gateway into all the tokens into dysnomia. So therefore, it's a buy and burn. So if I want to buy something within dysnomia and I have some affection, I have that affection. Let's just say now there's 1 billion supply and affection, and I spend 100 affection on this token. I then have this token, and those 100 affections are gone. So now instead of there being 1 billion, there'll be 999,999,990 supply. Did I say 100 or did I say 10? 900, 800. I think I said 90 or whatever I said. So it'll be deducting that supply forever. So it's burnt. So what does that actually mean? So it's going to create this interesting dynamic where the supply is 1 billion and it's going to slowly go down, and the value of it is going to go up as the supply goes down, and it's going to become more and more valuable as people realize that the only way to get dysnomia tokens is through affection. So this is why people really want to get into the minting and mining, into the minting of affection. So I'm going to show you again how to do that. So we'll continue. It can also be used to generate true random numbers by calling the generate function. This is useful for creating dApps. To read more on this topic, you can click here. Step-by-step guides for variable arbitrage routes with screenshots are included here. So I'm going to leave all of this here. So there's already people that are creating games with dysnomia and the random number generators. And Maria was talking about that. Basically, he believes he's got coded the first true random number generator on the planet. So this is something that's very, very cool. And of course, when I made that tweet, you had all the people who were like, oh, wow, 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 what a load of shit. And that ended up getting like tens of thousands of views. And it's like, man, people just have not even any humility. They don't want to accept that somebody else is better than them. Like, man, maybe Maria can be a Fruit Loop. Like, you read the chat log and he's a Fruit Loop, but it's like, so what? I can accept the fact that he's a lot smarter than I am, and therefore I'm just going to go with that. I don't give a shit about all the other stuff. So you guys can make up your own mind, but yeah, whether or not it is the first true random number generator, who knows? But in either case, it is something that is going to provide a very unique use case for things that are happening on Pulse Chain. So here's a list of the tokens in dysnomia. And I'm also going to leave this here. So this is a full list of all the Atropa ecosystem tokens. And basically, from 224 onwards, this is all dysnomia now. So as we know, in the Amsterdam talk, stay of proceedings was the conclusion of the Atropa ecosystem. So all the tokens before this is Atropa. Now, after this, it's all Dysnomia. So this is Atropa, stay of proceedings. So again, I'll link that video here so you can have a look at the Amsterdam video with Maria. Okay, so use cases. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I'll let you guys go through it. I'll just get straight into the minting side of it so people can actually learn how to mint it. So bots and scripts. So we'll go through it step by step together. I'll read it with you and we'll go through it together, and I'm going to do it with you. And so as you go through, pause it so you can download the things, because they will take time to download. So bots and scripts. So now that you've played around with arbitraging, actually, as a matter of fact, let me just pause this for 1 second. Okay, so affection is tied to DAI stablecoin. So PDAI, 1-to-1. It's supposed to be 1-to-1. So this is how you actually capitalize on the minting. So what it actually does is it will burn PDAI or PUSDC to mint the affection. And the way that you profit on that is it will deduct the cost of the gas. So this is where the cost of the gas is very important. Otherwise, there's not going to be any profit for you. So for example, if you looked at the prices, actually, 1 second, I'll pause it 1 more second. Okay, so I'm going to share this here. So first of all, full credit goes to Not Helios. So Not Helios has been a dev that's been working around the affection token, and full credit to him. He's put that guide together, and I think it is such a brilliant guide. Like, someone who can, with clarity, explain something in such a way that's so easy to understand, that's a skill. And the way that the affection document has been laid out and the way that he explains everything in the Telegram, I'm like, man, Not Helios, I got massive respect for him. His mind is absolutely beautiful. He's very humble about it, but his mind is beautiful. And I can recognize a beautiful mind when I see a beautiful mind. So thanks, Not Helios, for everything that you do. So let's have a look at this just so you guys can actually understand. So hopefully you can see this in my head is not too much in the way, but basically Not Helios was showing here. You can see PDAI, DAI stablecoin, to Pulse Chain. So 1 DAI stablecoin. So this is not what it is at the moment, but just so you can understand, 1 DAI is equal to 91 Pulse, and 1 affection is equal to 117 Pulse. So here it's quote unquote worth it to swap to burn into to mint your affection. Same as here. It's worth it because you're getting more pulse for your affection. So you can actually do a direct swap, but it is better to mint because you're going to get more of a profit in this particular way. So it's more about the arbitrage. So now if you have a look at this one here makes it extremely easy to understand. So in this particular scenario, on this particular date, 1 PDAI was worth 90 Pulse Chain and 1 affection was worth 200 Pulse Chain. So the bot that he's created that I'm about to show you, it does buying, it does minting, and it does selling. And it's all like multi-contracts. And so basically what you're doing is you're selling your PDAI and your PUSDC into the affection and then minting the affection. And I've probably, it's not necessarily selling, but I don't know the correct terminology. Again, I'm not an expert, man, and I'm trying to explain this to you guys as clear as possible. But the amount of time it takes to learn this stuff fully, there's so much stuff going on. So if I get words wrong, sorry, I'm not an expert. But over 2-to-1 instant profit. So can you see here? Therefore, once then you want to if you have that affection, you've basically like doubled your profit because you've got double the amount based on the value of it compared to Pulse Chain. Whereas if you have a look at it here, this makes it a not profitable situation because it's only an extra 6 Pulse to sell your affection. So the reason why it's not profitable is obviously the gas that it costs to actually go through the process of minting. So you're actually losing out. So I hope that makes sense. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go through this properly was because I wanted to learn how to manually mint everything. So I wonder if I can do this where I can not show my wallet. So I'm going to pause this again. Okay, so in the Telegram, there is this website here. So smartcontractgui.xyz. And so what you do is it won't appear like this. The website will actually appear a little bit different. Let me just see if I can get it to appear as it should be without the affection contract there. I wonder if it will ask me to connect my wallet, or it might say that it's already connected. Okay, yeah, anyway, it's connected, but there you go. And then what you'll end up doing is, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn how to do it manually. So this here basically is entering on this website, you're entering the affection contract. So this affection contract is here. Now that the contract is entered here, it shows all the functions that the affection contract can do. And at the start, when people were minting affection, they were doing it this way manually, and they were watching the gas prices, and they were doing it like this. And this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it this way, but I was like, man, this is taking me just way too long. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it the way through. I'm gonna do it the automated way with the bots. So I wanted to learn it this way, but yeah, things just take way too long. But just to give you an idea as well, this is another website, the pulsecoinlist.com/stats #gas. And it will show you the gas prices, right? So gas is going up. So the more that the gas is, the less less profitable it is. So the people who are minting this, they're looking at the gas prices, and they want the gas prices to be as low as possible, because the lower it is, the less pulse chain it costs, the more profit you're going to get. So for example, here on September the 4th, which was the other day when PDAI started mooning, there's no way that it was going to be profitable, because the value of PDAI would have been worth way more against pulse chain compared to affection, plus the cost of the gas. So you would have been losing out. Whereas at these points where the gas was so cheap and there was probably more of an equilibrium between PDAI and affection, that's when it would have been profitable to actually mint. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So I'm going to go back now into let's go back into the charts here. So for God's sake, I don't know if it was recording on the first screen or not there. Oh God, hope it doesn't mean I'm gonna have to do this video again. But if it was recording, I'm probably, yeah, anyway, whatever, I'll have to re-record that part. So I am looking at this chart. So this is affection to DAI stablecoin. So if it's paired 1-to-1, I'm going to let you guys think about this for yourself, but I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. And I don't want to give anyone answers, because again, this is just going to be my opinion. This is going to be a strategy that I'll personally be deploying. But if it's supposed to be 1-to-1 DAI to affection, let's just put this here. And I'll just change that to 1. So 1-to-1. So as you can see, the price fluctuates around this 1-to-1 region. Now, obviously, at the moment, DAI is stronger compared to affection. Why? Obviously, because DAI has had all the narrative. So at the moment of recording, this is September 7th, Australian time in the land down under. And what we want to see is obviously, if you keep an eye on this, so this is one way that you can utilize this chart, just for the record. If you're seeing up here, if you're seeing something like this happen, this scenario here is when it's going to be really good to be minting, because the value of the PDAI compared to the affection is a lot stronger to PDAI. So you're going to be making a lot more profit as you mint. The contract also mints against PUSDC. So you can use that chart as well, PUSDC to affection, and you can use DAI to affection. So I'll leave this link in the description below as well, and you guys can use this. So that's one way that you can use this chart. There is another way that you can use this chart, and I would love to hear anyone comment below and what they think is a good way to actually utilize this chart. I know what I'll be doing. And if you've been following this channel and following along with my thinking around liquidity, you might have some ideas about what I might be thinking about this. So, okay, let's get back to this. So now that you've played around with arbitraging manually, so that's what I was showing you before with the smart contract xyz.gui, whatever it was. I played around with it very briefly manually, and then I'm just like, yep, bro, yeah, time. Everybody complains about time. I'm just another one that's complaining about it. So my energy is really pissed off today, actually, because of all the yeah, Twitter's just anyway. No one wants to hear me complain. So I've packaged things in a way that is simple and takes care of the small details, leaving you free to innovate on your workflow. The Git repo with all project files can be found here. So that's this one here. This is the GitHub. And here's a look at what we'll be covering in this section: preparing your work environment, intro to core bot functions, generating encrypted wallets key scores, creating your own bot, bonuses, rapid beats by Grab. So thank you for this one, Grab. So is a tool developed by one of our beloved community members that can help you keep an eye on current Pulse chain gas prices. So that's what I was showing you before on Pulse Coin List, and know when it's the best time to mint. So I believe this is, I have done all of this, but I haven't done this. So this is new. So I might even try and get in on this. But for now, actually, you know what? I'm not going to show how to do this, because I think if I show how to do this, people should be able to work this out for themselves, because I think this is something that's really good for people to learn on their own as well. So, all right, getting started. Let's move into it. So before we can start, you'll first need to install Python and PyCharm Community Edition. So Python, bugger. So Python, I'll just open these on new links. It'll help point out any errors in your script and offer useful suggestions for your code. A zip archive with all the project files can be found here. So first you want to install Python. So if you're on Linux, if you're on Mac, you're on Windows, you just follow along with these instructions. So this is Python. You would go here, you would download Python. So I'm not going to do this. I've already done this. And then you guys also, you can download this. So this is obviously for the Windows, and you want to change according to your system. So this is for the Windows, PyCharm Professional, because what this is using Python. So this is Python. So Python is a coding language. And I'm not a coding expert. I'm far from a coding expert. I know the very basics. I understand that it's a language, and the language basically is the script. And I like learning about these things, because the more that I understand about scripting and coding and languages, it really ties into my understanding of reality. The way that I see life is, I mean, physics is just, the word of God, and the word of God is just physics. And that is really just the script of the universe. And everybody's just living according to that script. So it's like life itself is just this code, and it's the same as all this. So when I start to learn these things, and it's like, oh man, everything in life is like this. It all just follows according to like this very complicated code that God or the universe or Allah, whatever you want to call it, has created. So download this. So Windows, here you go. You will also need this. So Microsoft C++ build tool. So install that. So which takes up about 6.42 gigabytes. So go ahead, install all of these. This part should be very basic. You shouldn't, I mean, yeah, download that, install it, download that, install it, go through the process, follow the instructions. It's just literally follow the instructions. Because I've already done it, I won't be doing it in this particular stream. So in Windows, you also need UTF-8 enabled, because 414, so Maria likes to use weird characters for token names and symbols. So you basically want your script to be able to read those symbols. So then you go through this process. So you would go to Windows, you would go to Run, and in Run, you would type in int. So I'll put this here in int.cpl. And then go through the process. I'm just going to see if this like doxes my computer in any particular way. No. So hopefully you guys can see this here. So again, it's the logic and the flow of this whole manual is just beautiful, and it's just brilliant. And the reason why I also believe is because Not Helios is a coder. He's a dev. So he understands, and this is where it's like coding. When you understand coding, and it's really just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it just builds on top of it. And if you understand that that's what coding is, you can understand how to explain things to people. You yourself can become more logical in your explanations. And this is something that I'm always striving for personally. So you would go here, like there's really, yeah, administration, change system settings, and like literally, how good is this? You literally just have to follow it step by step. A lot of manuals and things that I've read on the internet, and there'll always be like a point where it's like, oh, but he didn't mention anything about this. I don't know what to do in this step. The beauty and logic and the flow of this, there wasn't a single step in here. All I had to do was read it carefully and literally follow step by step. If you've got like, I don't believe in ADD. I think that's a load of shit. It's just a mind that is like got too many things in it, and you can actually resolve that by discarding those things from your mind. I don't believe in ADD. I don't believe in depression. I don't believe in any of those things, even though I would be clinically diagnosed with bipolar, even though I would be clinically diagnosed with depression many years ago. I do not believe in any of those things. So I'm not going to entertain those things. So if you yourself have a mind that's like can't concentrate on these things, meditate, learn to harness the power of your mind and become the master of your mind. Do not become a slave of your mind. So go here, install PyCharm Community Edition. So this is scroll down, download the community edition. So yeah, let's go here. So we've downloaded this. So you should have downloaded this already by now. You should have downloaded this also by now. Okay, so now it's basically going to this particular part now. So same thing. So you should have downloaded this. Make sure you get the community edition. It should detect the correct operating system for you. So it did. It detected Windows. Or you can click one of these links. So this will then take you directly to whether or not you've got Mac or Linux or Windows. Install and run it. Accept any terms and user agreements. And your main screen should look like this. So as you're going along, you're probably pausing and installing, which I encourage you to do. So pause, install, do all of this now. Now, if you return, this is what your screen should look like. And let's just see. Hey, PyCharm. So mine is a bit different, remember, because I have this. I had already done this. So this is why my screen looks like this. Let me just see if I can delete this from here. Yeah, I'm just going to remove it so we can go through the. Okay, see? Here we go. So now our screens match. How perfect, how simple. Now, creating your first project. Let's name this one Affection Bots. So here we go. The Django. So what we want to do is new project. So here we go, new project. So now we're seeing that it looks just like this, just like this, just like this. Okay. Minimize that. Your project folder will look like this. It contains some default files inside .venv, which PyCharm uses. You can collapse that folder and ignore it from now on. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Hang on a second. Let's name this one Affection Bots. So let me also do this. Name Affection Bots. Now, because I've already got it, it might complain. I don't know if I've actually deleted it yet. And then we hit create. Your project folder will look like this. It contains some default files inside. So now it's creating. So let me just bring it over here. All right, it's creating the virtual environment. So while that's creating, it contains some default files inside, which PyCharm uses. You can collapse that folder. So it's creating it as we speak. Wait, updating, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now it's created. So now we should see, here we go, Affection Bots. I wonder if it's got both my Affection Bots there. Okay, good, because it did delete the other one. Excelente. All right, let me just double check. Okay, perfect. So now this should, if you're up to this point, it should be looking exactly like this. And the reason why, he said collapse it. So we've collapsed it. And now if we just pull it to the side, great. It looks exactly the same. Affection bots, da 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 da, da 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 da. Here we go. We're on the same page. We're following along nice and well. Okay, so now I've included a zip archive with some files to get started. Extract the contents into your project folder. Oh, yep. So now we've downloaded the zip file. Extract the contents into your project folder. So your project folder, this is going to be your project folder. So you will have your project folder here. So go to that directory. So I myself now will go to that directory. So I'm just going to, once again, put this on pause. So now I've gone to that project directory in the PyCharm projects. I'm going to copy. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go back to the share screen. It's going to be annoying to edit all this, so I remove my name and everything like this, but here we go. So then now, see your boys working away, making these videos. All right, so my affection bots. Oops, actually what we want to do is extract all. Where are we going to extract it to? So then we're going to extract it to that folder. Here we go. Yep, extract. Now, if we go into that folder, here we go, affection bots main. So it's all in this folder now. We're probably going to have to edit this actually, because it's not going to be, yeah. So we're probably going to have to edit this. So this might have been the only part where the instruction didn't match what was actually happening. So extract the contents into your project folder. And the reason why is going to be, get rid of this, get rid of this. The reason why, I think what we want to end up doing is copying this perhaps into here. Let's just have a look. So we will work this out. So this might be where people are actually slipping up on. So affection bots. Now let's see if what we have here. So we've got the data, affection bots main. Yeah, okay, here we go. All right, so this is the part of the instructions that maybe people slipped up on and got wrong. So once it's affection bots main, the zip, what we want to do with the zip. So let's go back to our folder, affection bots main, and let's cut all of this and paste it here. And now look at how this structure has changed. So now we can delete this, affection bots main. I mean, you can, I imagine you can have it there, but I just want it to be exactly to what's there on the website. See, now that directory is gone and it's all here. Now, are we looking exactly the same? We are not looking exactly the same because there's more things in here. So maybe at the time that this was done, where's our .env file? Oh, sample.env. Okay, so we're going to get to that shortly. So obviously there would have been some more updates to this since then. So let's just keep going with the flow. So install packages. Click this button in the bottom left to open the terminal project. So here in the bottom left, so affection bots. So here's the terminal. So now we've opened the terminal. Here we go. So see here, we're all in line. And we want to type pip install requirements.txt and let that do its thing. So type this to install a few packages we'll be using. So here you go. So we've typed it into there. Give it a few seconds and it should complete without errors. So let's just see if we are looking exactly the same here. So she's working away. She's working away. She's doing her thing. All right. So you can see that it's installing these things, the packages that our computer is going to need. All right. So, okay. So I'm just going to pause this for a moment while this all updates. All right. So now that has all finished. Let's take a look. All right. So we can see our folders. We can see this is all there. So the data, this is the only thing where yeah, this part of it was a little bit different, but obviously since then he's updated the zip file. So this is the reason why there's more things in here now than there was at this particular time that he did this document. Okay, so now we can start cooking. In the next section, we'll look at what functions I've included for you to use. So now we're going to go to the next section, which is the core functions. To make this as easy as possible, I've created functions that do actions you're already familiar with in Web3. These are packaged so you can write the least amount of code. All of these functions can be found inside core.py. Each function has its own page that details the code and what it does. Moving on, we will generate a few wallets to use for our bots in the next section. So these are all the functions. So now if you go to core.py, you double click it, it will open this up in this part of the application. So you can see here, this will have all those different functions that he's talking about. So all the functions that are listed here will be there. So if you want to learn more about coding, and this is with Python, I would encourage you to have a read of these things. And I would actually encourage people to just learn the very basics of coding. And again, I'm not a coding expert, but I do know the basics. I have done some very basic Python coding, and I do want to continue to learn more. But yeah, man, just like everything, it's like you really have to structure your time carefully. So let's go now to the next section, because I'm not going to go through all these with you guys. You guys can go through that all on your own. So generating wallets. Generating wallets. In this section, we're going to learn how to generate key stores for your wallets. A key store is a file that contains the information for your public/private key, encrypted by a secret. In other words, a password. By using key stores, you will avoid keeping your private key in plain text. I've provided a generatewallet.py script that makes this section quick and gets you straight into botting. So here we go, generate wallets. Pick a secret phrase to encrypt your wallet. Rename sample.env to .env. Edit it and choose a long and unique random string. Okay, so this is like your password. So don't use it. So don't lose it or let anyone else see it. So obviously you guys are going to see what I'm going to be doing here, but it's not going to be my actual one. So just like he said, let's rename this. So I think if we just how do I rename it? 1 second. Where's rename? Here we go. So we want to go to refactor, rename. So now let's remove sample, refactor. So now that will change to .env. Okay. So we've done this. So we're up to number 5. We've done step 5. So step 6, create 3 new wallets. You only need one of these commands for now. Pick A if you are not adding your new wallets to Rabbi and MetaMask yet. Type these commands into the terminal of PyCharm. So just so you're familiar, what's happening here is obviously if you want to access your wallets through MetaMask or Rabbi or whatever wallet you're using, you're going to have to add you're going to eventually add these wallet addresses with this secret key phrase to your MetaMask or your Rabbi. And I'm not going to show you guys how to do that. I'm basically doing all of this just through the script right now. So there's some really cool things you can do with this. So for example, somebody who introduced to me an oracle and a potential oracle for Pulse Chain also showed me through ChatGPT how to create an auto buyer. And the auto buyer basically it will read your wallet and it will buy tokens that you want. So I find that particularly useful for things within the Atropa ecosystem where the slippage kills you. So if you want to swap massive amounts of these tokens into this, you can't really do it all in once because the slippage will like, yeah, you'll lose too much in the gap. So what you want to end up doing is you want to sit there and you want to buy lots of small buys so you minimize your slippage. And to do that takes time and it's a pain in the ass. And you got to keep clicking there on MetaMask and waiting, it's slowing. But if you've got a script and you just press play on the script and you just walk away and that's it. So over a period of time, you can just keep buying. And then so you've ended up buying like a huge chunk of tokens that you wanted over a short period of time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is, sell or buy. And that script does it for you. So that was something cool. That might be something that I'll end up sharing and showing in the future as well. So, but I definitely will be showing that Oracle as well. So that was for the Pulse Chain LUSD Oracle. So he's actually created an Oracle, and I'm going to do a video on that and how that actually works and how even as an Oracle for Pulse Chain, it could be very, very cool. So let's get back into this. So where are we now? So pick A. So you can do any one of these. So you can either do A, type this to create a wallet. This will create 3 new wallets and show you the public keys, or you can create wallets and immediately show their private keys too. Or you can do, if you just want to view the private key of an existing wallet, and then this is how to import the private keys to your Rabbi and MetaMask. If you want to know that, go right ahead. So let's just stick with option 1. Type this to create a wallet. This will create 3 wallets and show you the public keys. So in Python generate wallets.py. So you can just press copy. And now in the terminal, so we're still in the terminal. So the terminal here, so click in the bottom. So this is where you're typing all of the functions. So let's actually see what it does. So it's going to generate 3 wallets. Change your secret in .env. Hang on a second. So what have we done here? Example results. Hang on a minute. So why did it? This will create 3 wallets and show you the public keys. Well, change your secret. You must have, maybe you have to change this first. So change me, cuck existence. Stephen is a noob pleb. All right, here we go. And save. Let's just save that. So it knows. I'll just close it and it will save it. All right, let's do this here. Change your secret in .env. So he must have done the code in such a way that basically if it somehow reads change me is that, here we go, bang, there you go. All right, cool. So this is cool while it's doing it together. So there are going to be some things along the way where there's some inconsistency. So it's cool to work it out. But yeah, he's making this safe for you. So in other words, if you hadn't had change this and you had change me, anyone who has this and they accidentally got this step wrong, they might have had their secret as change me. So that means there's going to be heaps of people with their secret code as change me. So then anyone can hack it and steal all your affection and your PDI and whatever's stored in these wallets. So first you want to change that, close it, save it. Now it's generated those 3 public keys. So to create wallets and immediately show their private keys, if you just want to view the private key of an existing wallet, this is the better option. So use option B, because then if you go to option A, then you're going to then have to go to option B and then find all the private keys, which is annoying. So just do it this way. This is a lot quicker. So option B to create wallets and immediately show their private keys. So I apologize. I'm just doing this on the fly. I probably should have done a test of this and then done another one so it's more clear, and people are going to criticize me for this, but whatever. Make a channel yourself and do it for yourself. I'm getting sick of all the criticism. So generate wallets, create 3, show private keys. So we're going to show the private keys. All right, so here's the public keys that it's created along with the private keys. So this is the 3 wallets. So wallet A, wallet B, wallet C. Now, what are we doing with this information? Import the private keys to your Rabbi. So this is optional. So then if you now want to see what holdings you have in those wallets, obviously now you're not going to have anything, but eventually with those private keys, you would want to put this somewhere very safe, offline somewhere. And then with those private keys, that's how you're going to be able to import it onto your MetaMask, okay? So edit your ENV file, fill in wallet A, B, C with the 3 public keys you generated above. So, for example, let's just make this a little bigger. So public key, wallet A, bang, wallet B. So we're putting the public key here, right? And then wallet C, and then close that, and it's saved. Okay. Now we're ready to automate our workflow. Let's create the bot logic. Creating bots. Here you'll learn how to set up 3 different bots that will perform specific functions. So the functions that they're going to do, all those functions, those core functions are here. So these are the core functions that they're doing. Okay. So creating all 3 buyer, minter, seller bots are meant to be ran at the same time. Oh, that's good to know. They will delegate tasks to each other and return the PLS profits to your buyer bot. Let's cook. It's recommended to have about 420K, 420 polls. I don't know if that's 420 polls to fund the bots and begin making a profit. All these files are provided here in the GitHub repository. So this is the GitHub repository, and this GitHub repository is going to be exactly what is here. But because we've downloaded that zip file, so the zip file that we downloaded earlier was this repository. Okay, so now see here, data. This used to be sample ENV, which was here, and now we've changed that to ENV. So we've already got the buyer bot, minter bot, bot seller, core bot, core pi, example, da. Okay, so all these files are provided to the Git repo here. So now we're going to go to the buyer. So, okay, first of all, so to get your 420 pulse to fund the bots and begin making a profit, what you want to do is you're going to send, so basically wallet A is your buy bot, wallet B is your mint bot, and wallet C is your seller bot. So of those .envs, wallet A, wallet B, wallet C. So if you want to fund, you need to fund about 420,000 pulse to your buyer bot. So how would you do that? You would copy and paste this address, go to your MetaMask or your Rabbi, and you would simply send to this wallet address. Okay? And then this is where it's optional. It's up to you. If you want to then just make sure that you have that pulse chain in there, this is where you would add the private key of this wallet address. So for wallet A, I would then add the private key to my MetaMask or my Rabbi, and then I'll be able to see what my funds are in there. So that's for you guys to do. All right, so now we're going to go, oops. So we're going to go, next here. Okay. God darn. All right, so next, buyer bot. So the objective of this is to first check if the price of PDI or PUSDC is below affection. So remember what I was showing you in this Word document earlier? We want a scenario like this. This is the ideal scenario where PDI is less than affection. This is not an ideal scenario where PDI is basically the same as the affection, which means you're not really making a profit, because by the time you're spending gas to do the minting and do these functions, you're losing out. So this is the scenario that you want. So at the moment, it's probably actually not. From just based on how I understand this, I'm going to ask you guys, if you've been following along and paying attention, based on the gas prices that we looked at earlier, based on what's happening with PDI and the narrative around PDI at the moment, do you think now would be a good time to mint? My guess is no. What do you think? So we had a look at the gas prices earlier, and they were quite high. Not to mention, PDI has been going bonkers lately because of everything that's happening around that narrative. So at the moment, it's probably not going to be with PDI, but it also uses PUSDC. And the beauty of the way that Not Helios has designed this is basically it will automatically do it for you. So it will know when it's a good time to mint for you based on the prices. So it will read the gas price, it will estimate the gas prices, it will estimate, or not estimate, it will tell you the gas prices, it will tell you what one PDI is to Pulse Chain, what one PUSDC is to Pulse Chain, what one affection is to Pulse Chain. And it will tell you and show you, and it will do it for you. So it will automate it for you, but it's just good for you yourself to understand this as you continue your development into understanding decentralized finance. Okay. So now let's get back into this. Check if the price of PDI is below affection. Buy if the price has a percentage difference within amount specified. So this is all coded into the script. Send purchase tokens to the Minter bot, which is your wallet B. So the instructions: deposit 100 to 300K. So this is the yeah. So okay. So you can either deposit the 420, I think, because you're going to need gas in the Minter bot as well and the seller bot. So basically you'll send, like, say, 300 Pulse Chain to your wallet A, maybe 100K. Well, he'll tell you how much here. We'll continue. So you can play with the amount settings after. So then you run it by typing into the terminal Python bot.buy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pause this, and I'm going to actually now run all of this with the things that I already have Pulse Chain in. So I'm going to edit the files with what I've actually been doing it with at the moment. And let's see how this works. Okay, now let's get back into it. And again, I apologize for the kind of haphazardness of this. I'm doing the best as I can to make it as clear and simple. I might end up making another one which is even more clear and simple, just like I did with the liquidity providing. I'll do it once, and then I'll do it a second time where it's like super, super easy and logical. Let's see. It's for you guys to decide, but it's probably good that it's a little bit haphazard, so you guys can also refine it for yourself. So I've updated my env file with my old wallet. So then what is he saying here? So Python bot. So now we're going to go to the terminal. So the terminal here, and we can type that in. I hope it's not going to show my wallet addresses. So this is one way of doing it. What happened here? Okay, so line 16. Okay, let's have a look here. So load wallet A address. Okay, so then this is where everything in coding, like the thing about coding is it's pretty much going to tell you where the issues are. So what is it telling us here? So as I've run the Python bot buyer file, line 16 in module account equals load wallet A address, secret. So this is where it's telling us the issue is. So on line 16. So now if I load, so I'm gonna open this up, bot buyer, line 16. This here Y. Line 550 in core.py as well. So line 550. So basically what I'm seeing here is what it's saying is it doesn't have access to wallet A because it's not able to read the secret, which is in the .env file. So that's your secret address. So I'm going to have to double check. I'm going to have to double check that and see what the issue is there. And then line 550 in load wallet. So in core.py. So we're going to open core.py. We're going to go down to line 550. File found, can't find your wallet key store for address. So basically, okay, so yeah, this is the issue. It's saying it can't find it. Can't find your wallet key store for address. Okay, so this won't happen to you. The reason why this is happening for me is because can't find your wallet key store for address. 35FA. Where's 35FA? 35FA. Oh, I do not know. So where's 35FA? 35FA. Can't find your wallet key store for address. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this, work it out, and get back. Okay, very good. So you guys will not actually have that issue. So I've investigated where the issue came from, and the issue came from the fact that once I copied and pasted my old .env file, so my 3 wallets from my old, once I copied and pasted that into there, the way that the script works, the data in the folder didn't match the data in the folder from my old folder. So I went to the Telegram, I investigated, and this is also something that you guys should get into the habit of doing, using the resources on Telegram, using the search function. So use the search function, any kind of errors that you're getting here, before you even ask where that issue comes from, first look into the search of Telegram and see if you can find it, because guaranteed somebody else would have already had that issue. So do a search, try and take some responsibility for your mind, for your actions, without kind of burdening other people, and figure it out for yourself first. This is a really good mindset to have. So now you won't get that issue. So a lot of the last couple of minutes won't even really be, it won't matter to you. So let's continue on. And I'm probably going to end up doing this again, this whole thing again, just because it's been a little bit haphazard. But in any case, so now if I run this, also just for the record, you can type it into the terminal like this. The other way you can do it is you right click it, sorry, and you just run the bot. So that's how I normally do it instead of typing it. So now if I do it, let's run it. So Python bot buyer. So this is essentially what it's going to look like for you guys. All right, here we go. Root info. So see how it's loaded up? It's telling me how much pulse is in there, how much the minter needs. So it needs this much pulse, and I need to load this up with pulse anyway. So not enough pulse to send right now. And the gas fees are too high. So I need to load this up with more pulse anyway. So what I might do is I'm going to load this up with more pulse just to see. All right. Okay. So as suspected, because the gas fees are too expensive, now it's not, I won't really be able to show you like what it's doing as it's minting, but we will have it just have a look just so you can see for yourself what it's doing. So you can see here, remember how I was showing you those diagrams before? So this is the PLS balance. 1 PDI equals 103 pulse, 1 PUSDC equals 52, and 1 affection equals 71. And so it wants to be, PUSDC is not within a range to buy yet, so it needs to be 30% away. Whereas at the moment, it's not 30% away. So if affection was 30% more expensive than PUSDC, then it would probably start to do this. It would swap the pulse chain for PUSDC and then go through this whole process. But because there isn't much of a differentiation, hang on a minute. Let me just see what that is. So 51, 52.55 times 1.3. Strange. It is within 30%. But then obviously maybe due to the gas, the actual gas fees as well, perhaps. So it's only just on that limit. Maybe that's why, because it's obviously going to cost more than 3 pulse chain gas to actually do this. So that's why. Okay. All right. So now, okay. So now we're going to go to the Minter. So now what does the Minter do? So the Minter checks if there's any PI G5, so give me 5, and math 1.1 is available, and then convert as much of that into affection as possible, and check if there's enough PDI, and then convert as much PI G5 math 1.1 as possible, and check if there's enough PUSDC, convert as much to math as possible, and send affection tokens to the seller bot. So it's going to do all this and then send it to the seller bot. So you also then want to deposit some pulse chain into there so it can actually undergo this process. Okay, so, man, I forgot how to make it stop. How do you make it stop? Does it have instructions? You can right click, stop the bot, press Control C. So we're going to stop the bot here. Okay, so let's just run the Minter bot. And let's see what she do. Oh, man. Still that same error. All right, so let's stop that there. So let's have a look what this error is. Root error. This is the error that I had many, many moons ago. Could not send affection. The gas fees are too high. So maybe that's what the root error is. So let me just double check all of this. So I'm going to go now back to the Telegram and find out. All right. Okay, so I believe that error is due to the fact that there's high gas. It's just interesting because I had that same error a month ago when I was doing this for like a whole week. So yeah, I don't know what to say. So I'm pretty sure it's just due to the fact that the gas is too high at the moment. All right, so now we're going to go on to the seller bot. So what does the seller do? The seller checks to see if there's any affection tokens to sell. It checks if affection price is above PDI and PUSDC by a percentage difference, so it can actually sell it for a profit. It sells the affection and rechecks the price before selling again. And then only broadcast when gas prices are below rapid gas. And then it sends the PLS to the buyer bot. So there's like this feedback loop. So also you want to have some pulse chain in there. So what I have done now, I'm running all 3 bots at the same time. So yeah, this is it. So now you can see. So now this is the seller bot. This is what it's doing. This is how much pulse chain is in there. This is what the PDI rate is. This is what the PUSDC rate is. This is what the affection rate is. And so basically it's just going from the buy bot. The buyer is buying those tokens. Then it is sending it to the minter. Then the minter is minting. Then it's sending it to the seller. And then the seller is selling and it's going back. So if you're just running all 3, and how I was able to run all 3 at the same time is I would just right click, run, and then it's got all 3 running there. And I think as well, you can click the PyCharm terminal to open a menu and select split right. This will let you watch all 3 bots on one screen. So let's see if we can do this. So this is the terminal. Split right. Oh, then I guess you would just keep, yeah, okay. And you would basically just go do one in here, do one in here, do one in here. But because I'm already running the script, so you can do it this way, or you can do it this way. Okay, so that's it. That's it. So very simple, right? Well, I mean, reasonably simple, right? The instructions probably not that the way that I've delivered is a little haphazard all over the place. And I contemplated whether to start it again, but I think it's good also for people to be able to see the errors as they come up as we're doing it as well, because then you yourself will be able to learn, because there's really no point. You it makes sense to me to have like this very basic level of understanding. So if there are any problems, you can actually try and figure out the solutions to those problems for yourself as you're getting those kinds of errors. I think in the future, I will do another one that's very, very clean, like step by step by step, and just completely start fresh. But I'll decide whether or not to do that. But this should hopefully get you started. So, yeah, I'll leave you with it. Have a good day.